Everything Empty Always Alone is a highly unsettling YouTube channel that I discovered a few days back while browsing the X board on 4chan for ideas for a new occult video. As far as I can tell, this channel has received virtually no attention yet. The channel, run by an enigmatic individual named Corey, documents his alleged visits to alternate dimensions. Each video takes viewers through eerily empty locations, abandoned cities, desolate government buildings, vacant Walmarts, and ghostly casinos, creating a chilling sense of isolation and mystery. Corey claims that these spaces exist in other dimensions parallel to our own, where civilization vanished or perhaps never existed. He provides little detail as to how he travels to this parallel dimension, though he claims he is being assisted by an alien entity who has provided him the technology to do so. With each upload, he attempts to provide proof of these mysterious journeys, inviting his viewers to explore unsettling, quiet worlds. However, the authenticity of Corey's work remains uncertain, with many speculating that the videos are either the result of creative editing, AI-generated effects, or even part of an ARG. One theory that explains the eerie allure of Corey's videos is that they are expertly crafted using traditional creative editing techniques. Filmmakers and video creators have long used advanced editing software such as Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects to achieve impressive visual effects. By combining multiple shots, masking objects, or even overlaying images, it's possible to create the illusion of a completely empty space. Corey's videos could be edited to make bustling locations appear deserted, carefully removing people, cars, and other signs of life to manufacture the illusion of solitude. The use of such techniques has become increasingly accessible, as even amateur filmmakers can use masking and layering to erase elements from a scene. For example, some scenes in movies use green screens to manipulate and replace backgrounds, which could be similarly applied here to create eerie, seemingly uninhabited environments. In Corey's case, this would involve shooting in real locations and later modifying the footage to remove other people. This editing approach, while impressive, would imply that his so-called journeys are rooted not in the paranormal, but in the art of film manipulation. Another plausible theory is that Corey is leveraging AI technology to achieve his startling visual effects. AI-driven video editing tools are increasingly capable of modifying video content in ways that were once only accessible to professional film studios. Through machine learning and algorithms, these AI tools can analyze frames, detect people, and seamlessly remove them while maintaining the integrity of the environment. Given that Corey's channel involves several eerie, complex scenarios of complete emptiness, AI might offer the most efficient way to alter his footage. For example, AI editing tools could potentially erase people from busy locations such as shopping malls or casinos, leaving only the empty infrastructure. Using AI might also allow Corey to save time by automating the process, while achieving a level of realism that may go undetected by a casual viewer. Some viewers have suggested that Everything Empty Always Alone could be an experimental film project or a form of digital performance art. Corey's videos bear the hallmarks of a horror or science fiction narrative, following a lone protagonist exploring deserted spaces and raising questions about isolation and existential emptiness. If the channel is indeed a film project, it would align with genres that explore dystopian and surreal themes. Similar projects have garnered large followings by blending reality with fiction, where the viewer's belief in the story's authenticity is part of the experience. If Corey's work is a film project, he could be following in the footsteps of other filmmakers who use YouTube as a platform to experiment with unconventional storytelling. The concept of an alternate reality game also fits well with the content Corey produces. ARGs are interactive storytelling experiences that use real-world elements and online platforms to engage audiences. They often involve puzzles, hidden clues, and community involvement to piece together a narrative, with creators deliberately obscuring the boundary between reality and fiction. The channel could be an elaborate ARG, where Corey, as the central figure, uses the videos to lead viewers down a rabbit hole, subtly dropping clues to increase engagement. If Corey's channel is an ARG, the evidence he presents of alternate dimensions may be intentionally ambiguous, designed to spark debate and encourage viewers to question their perceptions. These channels thrive on this level of ambiguity, as they draw viewers deeper into the narrative by challenging them to uncover hidden details. The channel's cryptic nature, the absence of explanations, and the visually compelling yet mystifying videos could all point to a carefully orchestrated ARG meant to immerse fans. In this context, the emptiness of the cities and the isolated locations serve as thematic elements meant to convey an atmosphere of uncertainty rather than provide genuine proof of parallel worlds. At this point, the true nature of everything empty always alone remains a mystery, and each theory holds merit. What can be said is that the channel is highly engaging and proves that modern technology has made it easier to blur the lines between reality and fiction. Another theory suggests that he may be attempting to tap into the popularity of liminal spaces. Liminal spaces, such as empty malls, abandoned cities, or deserted government buildings, captivate audiences. They offer familiar settings where people feel unfamiliar in their emptiness. By exploring these vacant realms, Corey's content appeals to those drawn to the haunting atmosphere of places that exist on the fringes, between use and abandonment, familiarity and alienation. In a digital age where nearly anything can be manipulated, fabricated, or enhanced, it's difficult to definitively prove the authenticity of content like Corey's. Anyway, I've provided a link to the channel and I would encourage you to check it out and let me know what you think of it. Also, I'm thinking about doing a deep dive video on this channel if and when more content is posted, so let me know if that would be something you're into as well. In June 2016, 36-year-old Joseph Balderas vanished near Nome, Alaska, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Originally from Lubbock, Texas, Balderas had moved to Alaska in 2014 to work as a law clerk at the Nome 2nd District Court. An avid outdoorsman, he embraced activities like hiking, fishing, biking, running, and kayaking. On June 24, 2016, Balderas left his job at the courthouse and drove away in his pickup truck. He was reported missing on June 27th after failing to show up for work and being unreachable by his fiancée. That same day, his truck was found abandoned at mile marker 44 on the Nome Council Highway. Inside the unlocked vehicle were his backpack containing fishing gear, a pair of waders, and boots. There was no sign of Balderas at the scene. Search efforts commenced immediately, involving multiple agencies including the Alaska State Troopers, the U.S. Coast Guard, Nome Volunteer Fire Department Search and Rescue, and the Park Service. Volunteers also participated extensively conducting ground searches on foot and by all-terrain vehicles. Despite extensive efforts, no trace of Balderas was found. Investigations revealed that Balderas had communicated with his fiancée, Megan Ryder, on the morning of June 25th, stating he planned to go fishing. This was their last communication. A driver reported seeing Balderas standing by his truck on June 25th. Another sighting placed him driving on the same road on June 26th. However, these leads did not yield further information. Some have speculated that these two drivers actually saw him on the same day, with the confusion arising from the event being unremarkable on the day in question. Authorities considered various theories, including the possibility of a bear attack, given the area's wildlife. However, search teams found no evidence to support this. The terrain's dense vegetation and presence of bears posed challenges, but the lack of any signs of struggle or remains led investigators to question this theory. Another angle explored was foul play. Balderas' roommate initially provided inconsistent statements about his whereabouts during the weekend of the disappearance. Despite these inconsistencies, no evidence directly linked him to Balderas' disappearance. A search of their shared residence revealed no signs of foul play, and it appears that his roommate is not a suspect in his disappearance. In June 2017, nearly a year after his disappearance, a jury declared Balderas legally dead. The decision was based on the extensive but fruitless search efforts and the absence of any contact or activity from Balderas. The jury, however, could not determine the cause of death, leaving the circumstances of his disappearance unresolved. His family continues to seek information, offering a reward for leads that could resolve the case. If you have any information about the disappearance of Joseph Balderas, please contact the Alaska State Troopers. In the early hours of April 16, 2013, a meticulously coordinated assault targeted Pacific Gas and Electric Company's Metcalfe transmission substation near San Jose, California. This incident, often referred to as the Metcalfe sniper attack, exposed significant vulnerabilities in the United States electrical grid infrastructure. At 12:58 a.m., assailants accessed an underground vault near U.S. Route 101 and severed fiber optic telecommunications cables, disrupting landline and mobile services in the vicinity. Shortly thereafter, additional cables belonging to Level 3 communications were cut, leading to further communication outages. These actions effectively isolated the substation, hindering immediate detection and response efforts. Around 1:31 a.m., surveillance footage captured muzzle flashes as gunmen opened fire on the substation's transformers. Over a span of 19 minutes, they fired more than 100 rounds, primarily targeting the radiators of 17 transformers. This caused the equipment to overheat and shut down due to the loss of cooling oil. The attackers demonstrated precise marksmanship and strategic planning, aiming to inflict maximum damage while avoiding immediate detection. Despite the severity of the attack, no power outages occurred. Grid operators managed to reroute electricity, ensuring continuous supply to the Silicon Valley area. However, the assault resulted in over $15 million in damages and required nearly a month to fully repair the substation. The FBI launched an investigation but did not specifically classify the event, citing a lack of evidence linking it to any organization. Some experts, including former Federal Energy Regulatory Commission Chairman John Wellinghoff, disagreed, labeling it a sophisticated and coordinated attack intended to cause terror and disruption. In October 2015, the Department of Homeland Security suggested the possibility of insider involvement, noting that the attackers exhibited knowledge of the substation's layout and vulnerabilities. This theory arose from the precision of the attack and the prior disabling of communication lines, indicating a deep understanding of the facility's operations. In response to the attack, PG&E announced plans to invest $100 million over 3 years to enhance security at its substations. Measures included installing opaque fencing, advanced surveillance systems, and other physical security enhancements to deter and detect future threats. The Metcalfe incident served as a wake-up call for the energy sector, highlighting the physical vulnerabilities of critical infrastructure. Prior to this event, much of the focus had been on cybersecurity threats, often overshadowing the risks posed by physical attacks. The assault demonstrated that well-coordinated physical attacks could have severe consequences, potentially leading to widespread power outages, if not promptly addressed. Despite extensive investigations, the perpetrators of the Metcalfe attack remain unidentified. The lack of arrests or credible leads has led to various theories, ranging from disgruntled employees to organized groups testing the grid's vulnerabilities. The precision and coordination of the attack suggests that the individuals involved possessed significant knowledge and expertise. Some have suggested that this attack was an act of sabotage carried out by a state actor. However, there hasn't been any evidence to support this claim. What's up, Lazy Chill Zone fam? It's Jimmy here as usual. Quick shout out to remind you to light up that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the chill vibes coming your way. I'm aiming for a big goal, 15,000 subscribers by year end, and I know we can get there with the support of all you amazing people. And if you want to take it a step further, consider joining the crew through YouTube memberships or Patreon. Your support keeps this channel going strong, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. On August 31st, 2020, 33-year-old Florence Okpieluk was reported missing in Nome, Alaska. She was last seen around 4 p.m. that day, leaving a tent on West Beach, approximately 1 to 2 miles from town. Her jacket, shoes, and socks were found outside the tent, but she hasn't been heard from since. Florence, an Inupiat woman from Wales, Alaska, had moved to Nome in 2013 to provide better health care and education for her daughter. She worked as a patient financial services representative at the Norton Sound Health Corporation. Described by friends and family as a loving and caring mother, she was deeply involved in her 6-year-old daughter's life, sharing custody with the child's father. The search for Florence began promptly after her disappearance. The Nome Police Department, with assistance from the FBI, Alaska State Troopers, the Nome Volunteer Fire Department Search and Rescue Team, conducted extensive searches. Community members also participated, forming search parties to scour the region by day and holding prayer vigils by night. Despite these efforts, no significant leads emerged. In September 2020, authorities located a pickup truck captured on security footage near the Nome port on August 30th, a day before Florence was reported missing. The driver was identified and interviewed, but no further information was released to protect the investigation's integrity. Florence's family and friends have expressed frustration over the lack of progress in the investigation. They've described her as a devoted mother and a beloved community member, emphasizing that her disappearance is out of character. Her sister, Blair, in an interview with Alaska Public Media, provided a somewhat different view on Florence, noting that she was struggling with alcoholism and had recent legal troubles. However, her sister was clear that Florence always remained extremely committed to her daughter and her family in general, despite these issues. As of November 2024, Florence's case remains unsolved. Law enforcement continues to actively seek information, urging anyone with knowledge of her whereabouts to contact the Alaska State Troopers or Nome Police Department. The term Socratic paradox refers to several seemingly contradictory statements attributed to the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. Among these, the most renowned is his assertion, "I know that I know nothing." This declaration encapsulates Socrates' belief that true wisdom lies in recognizing one's own ignorance. He posited that many individuals, confident in their knowledge, are unaware of their own lack of understanding. By admitting his ignorance, Socrates considered himself wiser than those who falsely believed they possessed knowledge. This perspective is evident in Plato's Apology, where Socrates recounts his quest to find someone wiser than himself, only to conclude that his wisdom stems from acknowledging his ignorance. Another aspect of the Socratic paradox is the claim that no one does wrong willingly. Socrates argued that all wrongdoing is a result of ignorance. If individuals truly understood what was right, they would act accordingly. This viewpoint suggests that moral failings arise not from malicious intent, but from a lack of knowledge. In dialogues such as Plato's Meno, Socrates explores this idea, proposing that virtue is a form of knowledge, and therefore can be taught. Socrates' method of inquiry, known as the Socratic method, involved asking probing questions to expose contradictions in his interlocutor's beliefs, rather than proving answers. This technique aimed to dismantle false knowledge and encourage the pursuit of true understanding. By guiding others to recognize their ignorance, Socrates believed they could begin the journey toward genuine wisdom. The Socratic paradox challenges traditional notions of knowledge and virtue. By asserting that he knew nothing, Socrates highlighted the limitations of human understanding and the importance of continuous questioning. His belief that wrongdoing stems from ignorance rather than intent shifts the focus from punishment to education as a means of fostering moral behavior. These ideas have profoundly influenced Western philosophy, encouraging a critical examination of knowledge, ethics, and the human condition. The Labankir devil is a lake monster said to inhabit Lake Labankir in Siberia's Sakha Republic. This remote lake, situated at an altitude of over 3,000 feet, spans approximately 17 square miles and reaches depths of up to 250 feet. The lake's unique geological features, including anomalous fissures and underwater trenches, have fueled local folklore about a mysterious aquatic entity. Reports of the Labankir devil date back to the 19th century, with locals describing a massive, aggressive creature possessing a large mouth filled with sharp teeth. These accounts often attribute unexplained disappearances of people and livestock to the creature, reinforcing its fearsome reputation among residents. In 1953, Soviet geologist Viktor Tverdoklubov led an expedition to Lake Labankir and documented a personal encounter with the alleged monster. He described observing a dark gray, oval-shaped body moving across the water, featuring two symmetrical white spots resembling eyes and a protrusion akin to a fin. Tverdoklubov noted that only a portion of the creature was visible, suggesting a massive submerged body. Scientific interest in the Labankir devil persisted into the 21st century. In 2013, a team from the Russian Geographical Society conducted a winter dive into Lake Labankir, aiming to explore its depths and investigate the monster legend. During their exploration, the team reportedly discovered skeletal remains and a jawbone of a large animal using underwater scanners, though these claims lack physical evidence and remain unverified. Despite numerous expeditions and studies, no conclusive evidence supports the existence of the Labankir devil. Skeptics suggest that sightings may result from misidentifications of known animals or natural phenomena. For instance, large fish such as pike inhabit the lake and could be mistaken for a monstrous creature. Additionally, the lake's unusual geological features, like its deep fissures and underwater trenches, might create optical illusions or unusual water movements that observers interpret as a living entity. The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, or False Monarchy of Demons, is a seminal 16th century grimoire by Johann Weyer, first appearing in 1577. This text is an extensive catalog of demons, providing a hierarchy of 69 spirits, and it outlines the proper rituals and hours to summon them. Weyer's work served as a precursor to other famous texts on demonology, such as the Lesser Key of Solomon. Weyer was a Dutch physician who studied under the renowned occultist Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. However, unlike other demonologists of his era, Weyer's approach was distinct. He was critical of the witch hunts prevalent during the period and often mocked the perceived power of demonic forces. In his view, while these demons may have been real forces, they were ultimately weak and ineffective in comparison to the forces of the kingdom of heaven, hence the title of the work. Another interpretation of the text suggests it was intended to be a skeptical take on demonology. Supporters of this theory note that sigils used for summoning magic are not included in the text itself. Under this theory, the work is essentially satire, and every subsequent work that relied upon it simply didn't get the memo that it wasn't to be taken at face value. Another prominent theory which builds upon the last theory is that Weyer had to present the book as satirical so that he wasn't accused of summoning and controlling demons himself. But that's enough about the intentions of the author. Let's get back to the grimoire itself. In this text, each demon is given a title, ranks in the infernal hierarchy, and jobs in the bureaucracy of hell, and the corresponding legions of demons and fallen angels they command. These descriptions were not merely theoretical for those who read the grimoire. They provided practical guidance for those seeking to counter their power or to harness their power through summoning rituals. In the early 14th century, the Mali Empire was a dominant force in West Africa, renowned for its wealth, culture, and expansive trade networks. One of the most intriguing narratives from this period involves Mansa Abubakari II, who is said to have embarked on a transatlantic voyage. According to some, he potentially reached the Americas nearly 2 centuries before Christopher Columbus. The primary account of this expedition comes from the 14th century Arab historian al-Umari. He documented a conversation with Mansa Musa, Abubakari's successor, during Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. According to al-Umari, Mansa Musa recounted that Abubakari II was fascinated by the Atlantic Ocean and sought to discover what lay beyond its horizon. He reportedly commissioned a fleet of 200 ships, instructing the captains to sail westward and return only after reaching the ocean's end or exhausting their provisions. After a long period, only one ship returned, with its captain describing a powerful current that swallowed the other vessels. Undeterred, Abubakari is said to have assembled an even larger fleet of 2,000 ships and personally led an expedition into the Atlantic, leaving Mansa Musa to govern in his absence. Neither Abubakari nor his fleet returned, and Mansa Musa ascended to the throne. The veracity of this account has been a subject of debate among historians. Some argue that the Mali Empire possessed the maritime capabilities and resources to undertake such a voyage. The empire's wealth, derived from gold and salt trade, could have financed large-scale expeditions. Additionally, the Malians had access to the Niger River, which facilitated internal trade and could have provided experience in navigation. However, oceanic navigation presents challenges distinct from riverine travel. There's no evidence whatsoever to suggest that West African civilizations had developed the necessary maritime technology to do so in the 13th century. Proponents of the theory that Malians reached the Americas before Columbus point to various pieces of circumstantial evidence. Some suggest that certain cultural similarities between West African and indigenous American societies indicate pre-Columbian contact. For instance, similarities in pyramid construction and agricultural practices have been noted by proponents of this theory. However, these parallels can often be attributed to convergent evolution, the independent development of similar solutions to comparable challenges, rather than direct contact. Another argument centers on reports from Columbus himself. During his third voyage, Columbus noted that the indigenous people of the Americas possessed gold-tipped spears, which they claimed to have obtained from black traders who had come from the east. Some interpret this as evidence of African traders reaching the Americas. However, this account is ambiguous and doesn't conclusively point to transatlantic voyages by Malians. Skeptics highlight the lack of concrete archaeological evidence supporting the presence of West Africans in pre-Columbian America. No artifacts, settlements, or human remains definitively linked to Malians have been discovered in the Americas. Furthermore, the logistical challenges of such a voyage, navigating the vast Atlantic without advanced maritime technology, would have been formidable. It's also worth noting that the story of Abu Bakari's voyage is primarily based on oral accounts and the writings of Arab historians, which were recorded decades after the events they describe. Oral traditions can be valuable historical sources, but are also susceptible to embellishment and distortion over time. Further calling the story into question is the fact that no Mansa named Abu Bakari II ever reigned in the Malian Empire. However, it's important to note that this doesn't necessarily mean that the story isn't true in and of itself, but rather that the Arab historian may have simply misremembered the name of the ruler. Notably, there was a previous Malian ruler named Abu Bakr, which may have been the source of the confusion about this name. Also, if you like historical content and mysteries, be sure to check out my alternative channel, Lazy Chill History, for more history content after this video. If you're looking to chill out and study or go to sleep, click my 11-hour Unsolved Mysteries compilation in the video. Also check out my channel for content ranging from unsolved mysteries to true crime to the occult to urban legends and more. That's part 89 of this Unsolved Iceberg in the Bag. Peace out, everyone.